Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 870th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. And just to say, this is the oldest battle that I've put on our channel so far. This battle was fought on the 4th of March 2009. So this battle is 15 years old. Yeah, unbelievable. It's a real time capsule of its time. You know, it's just unbelievable. 15 years ago. So here you're going to see, it'd be interesting to see if we see any different army builds, tactics, strategies from 15 years ago. Okay, so the first teammate is Brotherhood member Eth, the supplier of these old battles. Now he's got 15 infantry and 5 cavalry. Okay, 15 infantry and 5 cavalry there. So I say it'd be interesting to see how well he uses that army. Quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. He usually brings quite serious cavalry. Oh, you're at 7 upgrades. An experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So that's pretty good army there. It's a 31k battle, by the way. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Apple. Now, a lot of RTW veterans will remember Apple. He was a really well-liked player on Rome Total War. Now, Apple's got 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. A very infantry-based army here. 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. Got a lot of firepower there. Quick look at his upgrades on his cavalry. Oh my gosh, 8 upgrades on his cavalry. 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. So very serious Praetorian cavalry there. As I say, nice to see Apple. Haven't seen him for many years. Notice his general there is an Eagle unit. A Legionary 1st cohort unit there. As I say, don't forget these armies and the tactics and strategies you're going to see are from 15 years ago. So it'd be interesting to compare, I suppose, with today, I suppose. Okay, and their last teammate is RR First Prime. Well, we all know that First Prime is in the Brotherhood now. Now, he's also got 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. Okay, 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. Now, just to say, First Prime, I believe, was the creator of the Core clan, and he was in charge of the Core clan as well. A lot of veterans remember the Core clan, a really good clan. And then I think when a lot of the core players stopped playing Rome Total War, First Prime decided to start a new clan. And if you notice, the initials of that clan are RR. Now, can you think what that might be in relation to Rome? Okay, have a think about that. RR in relation to the city of Rome. Can you think what that might stand for? Okay, well, what it stands for is Romulus and Remus. Okay, that's what the RR stands for. And you'll notice that all this team are purple SBQR. And if you notice there, he's also got an Eagle general there, Eagle unit for his general there. And you notice that he's got the same army as Apple, 17 infantry and 3 cavalry, and he just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. So you'll know that this team are all purple SBQR, as we've said, so it'd be easy for you to see exactly what's happening during the course of the battle just by looking at the colours of the armies. Should be a great one for you to watch. And here is the other team. We have King's Clanman Aramu, and he has got 15 infantry and 5 cavalry, has Aramu. Okay, we're going to talk about the King's Clan in a minute, okay, because it's quite relevant to our Brotherhood clan, and you'll see why when I explain. You'll see a lot of his units are hiding in the long grass there. Okay, and their next teammate is King's Conan. Now, King's Conan has got a massive 18 infantry and 2 cavalry, a very infantry-based army. Now, some of you might be confused to see Conan wearing King's clan tags there, as he's the co-founder of the Brotherhood, but I will explain that a little bit later. And their last teammate is King's Tigran. A lot of you remember Tigran, very good player. Now, he's also got a lot of infantry, 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. 17 infantry, 3 cavalry. Looks like most of his infantry have got gold shield, gold attack on, and his cavalry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, got 8 upgrades on, 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. So there's the King's Clan team. Okay, they're red, and blue up against the purple SBQR armies of the other team there. So as I say, it'll be quite easy for you to see what's going on just by looking at the colours of the armies during the course of the battle. Should be a cracker for you to watch. Okay, as I said earlier, you might be a bit confused to see the co-founder of the Brotherhood wearing King's Clan's tags. Well, just to say, I think it was around about 2007, 2008. I think Conan had a disagreement with some Brotherhood members. I can't remember the ins and outs of the disagreement or the argument. Anyway, the next thing we knew, Conan had left the Brotherhood. And can you imagine the co-founder of the Brotherhood leaving the Brotherhood? What a shock that was to all the Brotherhood members, like, you know. And I think a lot of us private messaged him and tried to talk to him to come back. But whatever the disagreement or argument he had with some Brotherhood members in the clan, it must have been quite serious, because he just refused to come back to the clan that he helped to create. Okay, so what he did was he went out, became freelance and started the King's Clan. Now you got to remember, in 2007, 2008, there were hundreds of players in the lobby, really good players as well. So what he started to do was recruit people and train them, and that's where he became the King's Clan there. But wherever we played him and his King's Clan, there was always a little bit of edge between his old Brotherhood clan and his new King's Clan there. There was always like a little bit of tension there. It was just a shame that he left the Brotherhood clan, but he formed a really good clan. You'll find that the King's players are really good 31k players. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, you'll notice that King's Conan is moving his army from the centre over to the flank. Now, you might have noticed his battle formation is formed up in a certain way, and you'll see how effective it can be when it's on the flank. Okay, just something to keep an eye open for as the battle unfolds. Okay, but as I say, you can definitely see a Conan moving over to the flank there. And I'm guessing that his Scipii ally will move into the centre right. Can you see the shape of that battle formation of Conan's there? Okay, as I say, that's perfectly shaped there to be on the flank of the King's team there. And as I say, you can see the King's Scipii army moving in. Now over here you'll see that King Tigran's army there. Can you see the way where he's positioned his army? Could well be looking to flank Eth there. Now, can you see, I think Eth spotted that and has moved his army back a little bit there, and has kind of faced it in a slightly different position there, just to counter any particular flanking action there. But as I say, you can see King Tigran there with his Scipii army moving into the centre, and as I say, you can see Conan's deliberately moved out to the flank there. Okay, so obviously the King's team there are communicating quite well with each other. And as I say, whenever you play a team that's all the same clan, it's always a real challenge there. Now you can see here First Prime moving forward. Now those of you that have fought with First Prime today, 2024, you'll know he's a very aggressive attacking player. Well, just let me tell you that many years ago he was a very aggressive attacking player. And we might see it in this particular battle. We'll just have to wait and see. You can see he's moving forward straight away. Look, out of the SBQR armies there, he's the one that attacks. He's the one that moves forward first. Always a very aggressive attacking player. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. Okay, so you can see Apple here moving forward. And if you notice here, can you see he's made a mini army? Okay, and that's always useful, that mini army. He'll hold that back a little bit in reserve and then move it to where he wants to move it there. I think the SBQR team may well start moving over towards First Prime's army there, guessing that he's probably going to look to flank, possibly. We'll just have to see. But as I say, those of you that have fought with and against First Prime today, 2024, you know he's a very attacking, aggressive player. Well, back in the day, he was a very, very aggressive and attacking player there. Okay, so as I say, you can see Conan's battle formation perfectly shaped for the flanklet. If you attack him head on here, then he's got infantry units to repel you, and if you try a flanking action, he's got that covered as well with that particular shaped battle formation there. So now you can see why he moved over to the flank in the King's team there. Okay, very interesting battle formation. You don't see battle formations like that anymore on Rome Total War, but as you can see, very useful for a flanking army there. Okay, so here, as I say, you can see First Prime moving forward yet again. And it looks like Conan here, he can also be an aggressive player. It looks like he's going to charge that cavalry. Right, can you see here? It looks to me like First Prime is having a mini expanding glitch. Let's just pause the game for a second here. Can you see there? Look, it doesn't look like it's going to involve his whole army, but units there look to me like they're getting that terrible expanding glitch. You know, where your troops just all of a sudden just start spreading out across the battlefield. Now, it looks to me like Conan charged his cavalry in there before he could see that First Prime was glitching there. Of course, we never attack glitching armies. We've talked about this in our other battle videos. But you can see there that it's definitely, to me, it looks like a definite mini glitch there that First Prime was having. And as I say, unfortunately for First Prime, Conan had already charged his cavalry in there before he realised that First Prime had glitched. It wouldn't surprise me if First Prime pulled his army a little bit back there. You can see he's pulling his army back now to try and reorganise it and kind of get it back into the battle formation that he wanted to there. But those glitches, especially the expanding glitch and the overrun glitches, are so frustrating when they happen. Right, now can you remember we talked about Apple's secondary army? Remember we saw his secondary army there, and can you see he's creating what I call a bridging army? Can you see how he's bridged between his army and First Prime's army? You don't hear that term very often now, but we used to call them bridge armies there, bridging armies. As I say, you can see he's bridged between himself and First Prime with that mini army there. Okay, so with Conan on this flank and First Prime on this flank, I'm thinking this is where the battle's probably going to kick off. We know they're both very aggressive attacking players there. And I think with the amount of infantry in this battle, as we've looked at the army builds here, lots of infantry. As I say, Apple's bridging army there is, very good. They stop any enemy trying to get in between him and First Prime. You don't see that tactic done very often these days. If you notice here, you'll see that King's Tigran here has also got a couple of armies. Let's see, he's got that army and he's got his first rank, but also look, he's keeping spare units at the back. Can you see they're not in any particular formation, but he can use those to put into any part of the battlefield that he thinks they're needed. So he's got too many armies, plus he's got spare units that he can throw in. So that's, once again, do you see that tactic much in 2024? I don't think you do you? So there you are. Now, I don't know whether Tigran's thinking of flanking FF here with that one army going around the flank while he holds it with the other army. But it looks to me like F is going to be aggressive and attack the Julia army. Now remember that the one team are all SBQR, the Brotherhood team, and the First Prime's Romulus and Remus clan there. They're all SBQR purple. Okay. So over here, as we thought, First Prime being very aggressive. He's already attacking Conan's forward units there. And as I say, if you look, well, remember when we looked at the army builds, this battle is very infantry based. Not a lot of cavalry in this. Do you remember, I think at least 2 of the SBQR armies had 17 infantry, 3 cavalry. So as I say, not a lot of cavalry, but very infantry based. So there's a lot of firepower in this battle. Let us say that bridging army of Apple's there is backed up with cavalry, look, just in case they try to attack that smaller army. Here you'll see Conan putting some of his forward units into Testudo. Remember, we've looked at Testudo formations before, all-round defense from missiles, very effective on Rome Total War, and a real formation that the Romans used back in the day. As you can see, very good defense there. And as I say, that's what Conan's putting his forward units in there, as well as attacking. Like you can see, he's already thrown a unit into counter-attack First Prime. But as I say, that's a good battle formation for the flank there that Conan has set up. But as I say, I know First Prime's always got his finger on the trigger to attack, so it wouldn't surprise me if it happened over on that particular flank. But here you can see King Tigran and FF facing off there. You'll see that FF has put 4 of his forward units into Testudo there, or he's just put them into Testudo. And if you know that, notice the pilots from the enemy troops going into that Testudo unit there, you'll see they don't do a lot of damage. Okay, when your forward units of your battle formation are either in open order or in testudo, depends on what you want to do. And here you can see that F has put his forward units into testudo. You'll notice that most other people have just got their units in open order. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. Nice bit of teamwork here by Aruma there. Has run his Scipio cavalry over there to help Conan, and charged in to First Prime's infantry. Could have routed one or two of First Prime's infantry units there. You'll see that his Scipio army are just holding in the center, facing Apple there. Not a lot going on in the center. It seems to me that the action appears to be on the flanks here at this particular stage of the battle. But that was a nice bit of support there by the King's Scipio general with his cavalry there, supporting Conan's Julii troops there. So remember that Conan formed the King's clan, so he's the general in charge of the clan. And usually you'll find with clans that the clans tend to try and protect their general there, as you will, as we may well see during the course of this battle. But as I say, here on this particular flank, Eth there holding quite well against the attack of the enemy Julii troops there. Lots of pilots going in. As I say, as we talked about this before, a very infantry-based battle this is. So there's going to be a lot of firepower there from the pilots. There's a nice SBQ cavalry charge going in there. Look at them. Bang! Smashed and routed that Julii unit on impact there. Nice hit there by Eth. Very, very good hit. Meanwhile, over on the other flank, I think First Prime just charged some of his cavalry in there. Or that might have been Apple's. No, that was Apple there. Apple was always a really good team player there, and he's brought his cavalry over to help First Prime on this particular flank against Conan. Now you'll notice here that Conan is withdrawing his army at this stage. Maybe he spotted the cavalry of Apple moving over there, and because there's not a lot of cavalry in his team, he may well have thought to pull that infantry back. Meanwhile here that you can see the enemy Julii really pushing in on Eth, and here comes the Scipio cavalry as well. Get ready for this. Bang! As that smashes into Eth SBQR infantry unit, routed that unit on impact there. Did you notice that? Nice hit there by the Scipio general with his cavalry there. But you can see Apple's brought a couple of his units over. As I say, Apple, very good team player, brought a couple of his units over there to help Eth on this particular flank. But you can see the enemy being very aggressive here on this particular flank against Eth. And look at all these units that King Tigran has yet to bring into the battle. He's still got all those units yet to throw in here against Eth if he wants. They may well be looking to try and break the flank of the SBQR team here. And they may well be looking, as I say, to try and break Eth's army here. Okay, this may be the plan. But here you can see that Apple's brought his cavalry across here to help his teammates. He was helping First Prime on the other flank with his cavalry. He's now brought his cavalry over here to help Eth. And look at the impact that cavalry has caused to the enemy troops already. It's 4, 5, maybe 6, 7 Julii units have been routed now by the dual cavalry attack of Apple and Eth. So that was a nice bit of teamwork there. And you can see here that Apple now has pushed some of his units through the centre there. And it wouldn't surprise me if he brought them in behind the Julii troops that are fighting there. So that was a nice move there by Apple. But you can see a heck of a lot of the enemy Julii units are routing on this flank here. As I say, a nice combination hit there by Apple and Eth's cavalry and Eth's infantry as well. Okay, as I say, nice teamwork there by Apple. He's still got left enough troops in the centre to hold his place in the battle line, but he's brought his cavalry and some infantry units over to help Eth there. Okay, he's still got his bridging army between his army and First Prime's army there. And as I say, you can see here that Conan's moved his army back. Be interesting to see if First Prime decides to attack on that flank. But at the moment, here on the left flank of the SBQR team, you'll see that I think Eth and Apple have done extremely well there in routing a lot of enemy troops. So well done to them. As I say, I think this is a great, look at what teamwork can do. if you play together as a team, helping each other out, look at what you can do. And here you'll see Eth moving his infantry forward a little bit there, backed up by his cavalry and Apple's cavalry there, ready to charge in if needed. So as I say, a great example there of teamwork there between Apple and Eth on this flank. And as I say, you can see a heck of a lot of enemy Julii troops have routed. Some of them have rallied, I've noticed, but that was a lot routed there. Now over here, as I say, First Prime being very, very aggressive as always here. Look, you can see there, and he's charged his cavalry in there. Let's just smashed them into the enemy troops there. You can see that. Looks to me like he's just charged into them head on. Maybe this unit here looks like it was moving. This Julii unit looks like it was moving, and he might have decided to smash his cavalry into that moving unit. Remember, you can damage enemy units considerably if they're moving when you hit them with cavalry. So that was a nice hit there by First Prime. Very aggressive, as I say, as always there. And here you'll see that Aramu there. Is it Aramu? The Scipii, the King's Scipii army there, moving forward with infantry and cavalry. Nice support there by the King's Scipii army there, moving units over to support Conan. But you can see that Conan's still got a lot of infantry left there, and that means he's got an awful lot of firepower there as well, ready to throw in to the SBQR team. Right, let's just pause the game for a second here. So let's say nice support here by King Aramu there, bringing Scipii infantry over here on this flank to help Conan, as well as holding his centre position there, leaving enough troops there to hold his position in the battle line against Apple. So say nice bit of support there by King's Aramu. And here say you got Apple's cavalry there ready to charge in. If you notice, he's been moving that cavalry from one flank to the other to help his allies. Here you got First Prime's cavalry. Be interested to see what he's going to do with that. As I say, we know he's very aggressive. It wouldn't surprise me if he just charged that cavalry in. That was what he was like in those days. There's that cavalry unit of Apple charging like a bang as it smashed into that Scipii unit. Now I think that Scipii unit held really well. I was expecting that unit to rout on impact, bearing in mind it was engaged and then get hit by 3 cavalry units. So I think that Scipii unit held really well there. As I say, a lot of pilot exchanging going on here between the vast amounts of infantry that both teams have got here. And I say First Prime there has moved up a little bit closer to Apple there, and you can see Conan's red Julii troops on this particular flank. As we know, Conan a very aggressive attacking player as well. There goes Apple's cavalry in again at an angle this time, look, and bang as that cavalry smashes in there. Nice hit there by Apple. Once again, I don't see any Scipii units routing, but he would have caused a lot of damage to those units there with the cavalry hit. Okay, so on the other flank here, you'll see King Tigran there is moving his Julii army closer to his centre ally there, and Eth may well try and push on that flank, seeing the weakness of the enemy troops. But you can see the centre of the enemy line still holding very well there. You've got some of Tigran's units in the centre there with his Scipii ally. And as I say, Conan still facing First Prime on this flank. They've got their cavalry locked and loaded there, ready to move in. They may well move cavalry over there. You can see here that First Prime, as we thought, has charged his cavalry straight in there. Look, can you see his SBQR cavalry? He's just charging. Now they're going to get trapped there. Look at all the enemy cavalry around, and he's going to lose those couple of cavalry units. There you are. Now, I just got the impression that he's had his finger on the trigger to attack, and he just decided to charge those cavalry units in there. And unfortunately, he's now lost both of those cavalry units there. You can see the enemy team just surrounded him and took him out. But that's just trying to explain to you how aggressive he was all those years ago. And that was just an example. I think he was just getting a bit frustrated and decided to charge those cavalry in, which is what he did. Unfortunately, he lost them, but you know, that could well be quite important as the battle unfolds, maybe. Okay, let's pause the game for a second here. So here you'll see First Prime there has got units in the centre. I think you got Apple there as well. So you got Apple and First Prime there holding the centre. Nice support there from First Prime, sending infantry over to hold against the attack there from the enemy troops. You can see FF there has thrown in some of his cavalry as well, helping in the centre. I think both teams here, from what I've seen, are really good supporting players, helping you know, their teammates out during the course of this battle. As I say, that the Scipii troops there, of the King Scipii there, holding very well in the centre. Over here on the flank though, I'm looking at First Prime's army and I'm looking at Conan's army there, and I'm just thinking, looking at the numbers alone, it looks to me like First Prime's doing quite well. I can see some cavalry coming in there. You can see Apple charging those cavalry, and once again, and bang, as he smashes in there. Nice hit there, and then you can see FF's cavalry charging as well, like a bang, as they smash in there as well. As I say, great teamwork here by the SPQR team. Oh, and there's a cavalry unit of First Prime. He's charging in behind as well, like bang, as that charges in. Nice hit there from that SPQR cavalry. Right, I can see a lot of, well, several Julia units starting to rout here on this particular flank. Those cavalry hits were pretty good there by FF Apple, and that one unit by First Prime charging that cavalry unit in there as well. You can see that cavalry of FF, he brought it back, locked and loaded it. Looks like he wants to charge it in again there on this particular flank. And bang, as he smashes in there. Now this right flank of the SPQR team looks to me like they're doing very well here. And you can see you got infantry units, I think, of FF over here as well as his cavalry. So he's brought units over from the other flank, look to help on this flank. Once again, great teamwork there by the SPQR team, really helping each other out, which I thought, great example of teamwork. Do we see this caliber of teamwork in 2024? That's the question I'd like to ask you. Do you think we see that? Or do you think this is a great example of what team battles used to be like 15 years ago? Please put your thoughts in the comments. I think that'd be very interesting to see what you think about that. As I say, Conan's army now, bearing in mind I think he had 18 infantry and 2 cavalry, he appears to have lost a lot of his infantry here on this particular flank. And here you can see more SPQR cavalry charging in to the centre there. But you'll see here, can you see several of the SPQR units are beginning to rout under the pressure of the grinding battle that's been going on in the centre here. These units have been fighting for quite a long time there, and there's several SPQR units starting to rout. You've got Tigran's Julii army there facing FF's army still. Not a lot of action going on over there. But here, can you see Apple's still got those units that he can throw in anytime he wants to. Apple was always good at keeping reserve troops back, keeping them fresh and full, and bring them in when he needs them. Here, as I say, on this particular flank, this right flank of the SPQR team, I think, as I say, they're doing very well against Conan's army. There, you can see some of the enemy cavalry coming over there. You can see SPQR cavalry charging in again. Look. I think because there's so few cavalry in this battle, they have to be very tactical with the way that they use them. I think, to be honest with you, they got the firepower with so many infantry units, but when you've only got small amounts of cavalry, you have to be very, very careful. Oh my gosh, look, there's more SPQR units routing here. And you can see here FF bringing his cavalry in from the other flank, going to charge into this Julii infantry, like a bang, as he smashes in there with that cavalry. But as I say, if you look carefully, you'll see a lot of SPQR units starting to rout here. Look, in the centre, as I say, the grind that's been going on in the centre, the SPQR troops are starting to rout there under the pressure of, you can see a lot of Scipii and Julii units there against the SPQR troops. But if you notice here, do you remember we looked at Apple's reserve troops that he was holding back? Do you remember the reserve troops that were there? He's now thrown them forward. Look, fresh, full units. He's now thrown into the battle. Now, to be honest, in 2024, how many of us keep reserve troops back to throw into the battle when needed? Do you see that tactic much now? I just thought it's a great example of old great players of their day and what they did then. And here you'll see the SBQR cavalry of Eth that he's brought over from the other flank, still being a nuisance to the enemy. But as I say, if you look carefully, you'll see a lot of SBQR units are starting to crack under the pressure there. Can you see that? A lot of SBQR units, and Conan's really pressing in with his cavalry here. Okay, you're being counter-attacked by FS cavalry there, and bang, as it charges in there. And in the centre here, oh my gosh, right, so Tigran, King's Tigran, has brought his Julio units over from the right flank, look, over to into the centre there to help in the centre. Can you see that? He's brought all those units that were on the right, look, looking at it from this direction, he's moved them to the centre. Now, if I was Eth, and I think that's what he's thinking there, I'm going to start getting units in behind the enemy team. You see what I mean? Get in behind those Julio troops there, and you can see the way that Eth's moving his troops. He's thinking that already. Okay, so that's what Eth is thinking about doing there, moving all that infantry in behind those Julio troops. I guess Tigran might have been thinking, well, if he threw his infantry in there, there's a chance they might have broken the centre of the SBQR troops. That's the only reason I could think that he charged all his infantry in like that. But he's now exposed the flank of his team now, and Eth is going to make the most of that. Make no mistake about that. Here you can see Eth moving his SBQR troops. He's already got troops in behind them. Look, he's moving them up here on the flank. So Tigran's gamble there of maybe throwing his troops in to break the centre of the SBQR troop. Oh my gosh. Well, it looks like Tigran's just admitted defeat there. Yeah, Tigran's just admitted defeat. King's Tigran there. So that's a bit of a shame, really, because I think if you look at the troops that he's got left, he's still got a lot of troops left there, hasn't he? But whether, you know, he just thought that the battle was over there, I don't know. But as I say, he's just admitted defeat there. And I think, yeah, the Scipii, the King Scipii, Aramu, is it? He's admitted defeat as well. So it's just Conan's just got a couple of units left, and the SBQR team has won. So well played to them. There you are. There you are. You can see the SBQR team of Eth, Brotherhood member Eth, Brotherhood member Apple, and First Prime there. Brotherhood member First Prime now there. But you can see here it's quite intense fighting on the one flank there. Okay, this is where Eth faced Tigran there. So if you remember, Tigran was very aggressive on this particular flank, but Eth held well. As we move across the battlefield here, you can see the dead here. It just bears testament to how intense. Okay, this was only a 3v3 battle, but if you look at the piles of dead here, you can see it was a very intense battle. And looking at the dead, you could imagine it being a 4v4, couldn't you? If you just look at the piles of dead here. As we move across the battlefield there. As I say, I hope this battle's going to show the results at the end, but as you know, with old battles that I show on here, sometimes they do show the battle results, sometimes they don't. It just says replay ends, so I'm not sure whether we'll be able to see the results of the battle here, or whether it just say replay ends and that'll be it. We'll just have to wait and see, hopefully, because it's always nice to see the kills at the end of the battle, isn't it? See who got what. Oh, there you are. So replay finished there, unfortunately. Remember, though, this battle was being fought on the GameSpy server, and we were all playing this battle from CDs in 2009. So, you know, to show it on Steam, it just doesn't show the battle results at the end there. But I think we would agree that the SBQR team won that battle there. There was lots of good moves, great teamwork by both teams there. And I thought it was great to see there. I thought, and a great display, I thought, of teamwork there. Show how, you know, how we fought our battles back in 2009. And I think it was a real time capsule of its time there, if you see what I mean. It was, you know, a real battle of its time. And did you notice anything different from what you see on the 2024 battlefield at all? If you did, please, you know, put your thoughts in the comments. It's always nice to read what you think. Just to say, we always try and encourage ex-RTW players back onto Rome Total War. We still have great battles on it. And any new players that watch our battles that would like to come and play, Okay, we mostly play on a Friday and Saturday night, UK time. If you'd like to join us, it would be good to see you. And you know, if you got into a good battle with us, you may well see yourself on this YouTube channel. So it's an open invitation. Please come and join us on a Friday and Saturday night. This is Spartan Commander saying bye for now, and see you soon.